So welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Josh, for that great app. Be sure you check it out. So we are here with Jay from Jay's Everyday Fashion. Round of applause. She is one of the top 10 most followed fashion blogs in 2013. She was the runner-up for Lauren Conrad's Top Blogger Contest, a spokesperson for Walmart.com, where she had videos there and all sorts of cool things. You've been in print ads for Chinese laundry and for shop style. And so one of my favorite go-to fashion bloggers, a great friend. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I feel like I'm in fashion blog royalty presence right now.
Oh, you should. You should, definitely.
Hey, you're the one stealing the show tonight with the bow tie, all right?
There's been lots of comments that everyone's talking about it. But I want to start off.
I know, why aren't they talking about my outfit, Ben? Come on.
Who are you wearing today, Jay?
Just a jumpsuit. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
So tell us about, first, your fashion, how you write about fashion. So is there a particular kind of style that you try and write for? So what about fashion do you write about?
I write about budget-friendly fashion.
Budget-friendly fashion?
Yes.
So any kind of style or just anything that fits the budget?
Anything goes. I actually joke that my closet has like different style personas in it. So I'm like, do I want to be bohemian tonight or rocker chic or really feminine? Like I have like all kinds in my closet. I like to dabble.
Do you have a go-to style? Like which is your favorite out of those?
I think that especially casually, which is how I tend to dress the most, is totally bohemian. I wear these kind of embroidered shirts a lot, and I mean kind of like tonight even a little bit. Like that's kind of my go-to. So
very cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I have different styles.
I have jeans and a collared
you
shirt.
like boho a little bit, right?
Oh, yes,
Would you
I do.
describe your style as
boho?
kind of boho?
Is that how to sound like you're part of the in crowd?
That's what I am.
You know you're
That's what I call
trained
it. I
to say
don't know.
boho.
No, you just made my night. I love it.
I think I would totally
That was how
say,
you would describe me?
Yeah. I like
Score.
Bess's style.
Score.
I would
Right.
call it a little boho, yeah.
So I have, you've been a part of the FO Blog.com planning team, a wonderful
have.
part of it for several years now. And you actually attended our first blogger conference.
did.
So, but you were already established blogger from there. What?
I was like 6 months old, but thank you for saying that.
So can you describe kind of the beginnings of your blog and how it took off?
Yes, so that's actually a great place to start because I'm going to start with that conference because it changed my life. I kid you not.
Love it.
Actually, was that a year? I can't remember. Oh, maybe that was a year after I started blogging. Was it 2011?
2010 was our first one.
Okay. Well, no, it was 2011.
Yes.
Sorry, we're getting our dates straight over here. That conference, I always tell this story, but I heard Missy Ward speak, and she is, if you guys don't know, an affiliate guru. She founded Affiliate Summit, and she's right here in Orlando, and she spoke about monetizing your blog, and she said something in that session that literally my jaw dropped, and it lit a fire. Like I was like ready to take on the world after I heard it, and I just have always kind of held to that, and it's inspired me.
Okay, so for those viewers that aren't really sure what you mean when you say affiliate marketing, can you do a real quick 101 on that?
So affiliate marketing basically means, and really anything you ever click on the internet, someone is going to make some money off of that beyond who you're buying the product from. So if you see a link to Amazon somewhere, chances are someone's an affiliate that's sending you to Amazon and is going to get a little bit of commission or a little bit of income from basically that sale or even just that traffic. So the way Missy makes money is she said that she had posted a picture of an iPad online and that had generated something like $10,000 in revenue over time. Not because she's selling iPads, but because she made an affiliate link.
It's driving the traffic.
Exactly, she drove the traffic there. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You've had an impressive career, if I could say career.
Thank you.
Well, because I remember the early days when you were just kind of like post things up on Facebook,
Yes.
and then look where you are today. So what have you learned about blogging over the past few years?
Well, do you have a week? Because I could tell you all of it. No, I think what's funny is that I've learned how to blog because I feel like I didn't know how to do that in the beginning, right? And I also think that it's all about kind of having a healthy dose of realizing you still don't know exactly how to do it because there's always something to learn and to learn from someone else. But I would say, honestly, blogging has taught me a lot about life, too. It's an interesting career because I feel like, I'm sure you all learn, lessons from working in other jobs and other careers, too. But the intersection of the two, there's a little more crossover. So I've just learned a lot in general, just grown a lot and personally and professionally, because it all kind of just, the lines are crossed more with blogging for some reason. So
well, it's kind of a mix of the creative and the business.
It very much is.
Where sometimes if you're in a full-time traditional kind of job, you focus on the business side or the creative side, but this you have to by necessity.
And just being an entrepreneur is a little bit of a roller coaster. It's like a totally different thing that I thought I would never be interested in doing, by the way. I would have been like, no thank you, I'll just take a paycheck. I don't need the roller coaster, but now I love it. I don't think I'll ever go back to an office. Never say never, but I love it.
So what have been some of the highlights? Like, I know you've gotten to do some pretty cool things, like fashion shows in New York. What have been some of the fun things?
I mean, there's so many, but what's funny is I really think that being able to wake up every day and saying this is my job is the best part, because those moments are when you kind of go, wow, this is really happening. But it's sort of, I say that success is always like a million little steps and you feel like you're going nowhere, and then all of a sudden you kind of look back and go, wow, I'm going somewhere, you know, like, so it's, you already named a bunch and made me blush, so I don't want to get into the details.
Well, there are more highlights. I could have gone on. I mean, you just have, I mean.
There's been a lot of cool, once I sat down and wrote them down for you, I was like, wow, that's great. Like I said, you don't even realize, you just, you know, just feel blessed to wake up every day and even have this be my job.
Well, you do a nice job, not only on the national and kind of global scale, but you do a lot right here in Florida. You were a part of the Visit Florida Insider for 2 years.
Yep. And
so you have really done a lot. You appear on Fox 35.
I do, locally, fairly frequently. And I was a part of the planning team, obviously, with BlogCon, and I sort of inadvertently founded a blogger meetup group for lady bloggers here in Orlando that's just sort of grown and grown. And so I really I love to stay connected to Orlando. What's funny is when I first started blogging, you were actually one of the first blogs, when you did Central Florida Top 5, to feature my blog. There's such a sense of community here. Within like 6 months, I felt like everyone in the blogging community in Orlando was supporting me and, you know, sharing my blog, and it was outstanding. So I definitely try to stay tapped into that and give back as much as I can, like anytime somebody needs advice or things like that. So we've got a lot of fashion bloggers up and coming in Orlando. There's a lot of girls that are doing it now, and I think it's fantastic.
So what's your biggest tip to a beginning blogger? That wasn't one of our questions, but I think it's relevant.
This, and I probably say this every time I give like a blogging speech too, but my tip is that it comes straight from my favorite book that I quote way too much, which is The War of Art by Warren Pressfield. And he says, if any activity, ask yourself, if I was the last person on earth, would I do it? And it's not so much that blogging should be the activity that you would do, but that's what you should at least be blogging about. Because I think I really like blogging too, but what I'm doing, I would be looting department stores if I were the only person on earth. So I'm not that far away from, you know, what I like. I just like love it. So this is what I'm so passionate about. And so if you find that, and that's like content magic right there, because it will, from there you need to get the word out and things like that. But if you at least find and hone in on what you're really good at, that's always my number one tip. You got to start there. Yes, start there.
Was there a moment in your blogging journey where you said, I'm on to something, right? Because we all start out kind of new and trying to learn, and then all of a sudden, does something just happen and you're like, wow, I could quit my job. I could do this full time. Like, how did that happen?
Well, what's funny is that I started a Facebook page first, as you mentioned, and what was so funny is you got to think retro Facebook 4 years ago. It was very different where everyone could kind of see what you were doing. But within like a week, random people were finding my page, and I wasn't even trying yet because I actually wanted to kind of get it going with my own friends for, I don't know, maybe a week or so before I tried to get strangers to like it. And I was harassing my friends first to become a fan, and it just was all of a sudden there's like people finding it, and it was the craziest thing. So that was one moment. Another one was about, so my story was actually that, what is happening right now?
I lost my microphone. Sorry.
I'm like trying to go on. I cannot concentrate. I'm like, no.
Just focusing on that.
Anyway, so my story actually is, I never quit my job because I actually lost my job about a year into blogging and couldn't find another one. Because this was like 2011. There were no marketing jobs in Orlando. It was like nothing going on. It was the worst part of the recession. And that's why I lost my job, was because of the recession. So at that point, I had a couple friends who were blogging full time that summer sit me down and be like, you need to do this full time. Like, I was out of options at that point, so I was like, well, what do I have to lose? But they said, all you need to do is just take a few steps to monetize, and you already have the following. Like, I didn't even understand this concept. So between that, and that was the same summer I heard Missy Ward speak, I was like, well, I'm just gonna give it a try. So I started implementing kind of every monetization technique I could figure out. I started just Googling, you know, what's affiliate marketing? How do I do that? How do I do sponsorships? And just kind of doing whatever I could. And I kid you not, within a year, I actually came back from Africa. It was such funny timing, to just a crazy amount of money in my affiliate marketing. It like pays out monthly, and I was just like, what's happening in the world? But what had happened is it takes a little while to build up. It probably took about 6 months actually, from the time I implemented it to that sort of like mind-boggling moment. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm not even gonna need to find a job. Like, and it was just, that was the moment for me that I was like, this is crazy. And it's not about making money, but at the same time, I feel like it's almost hard to do it sometimes when you just feel like I'm just doing this for creativity's sake. And when you get kind of that, it almost puts like a stamp on it. It's like, this is your job now, and you feel like a little bit better about pursuing that passion. So for me, I think that was a big turning point, because I was like, I can almost take myself more seriously now because I'm able to pay my bills with it. And I just had a different relationship with it, you know. And I'm so passionate about anytime I can help a blogger like get there, because I think it's so empowering to be able to do that. And
what
you
a
know,
story that is. I mean, it's inspirational to hear your story of how, I mean,
I pitched
lost your
myself. I don't even
job,
understand how this happened.
had to. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I always joke, I was almost not forced into being an entrepreneur by any means, but it's like, I just sort of followed, you know, what was happening, and it was just, I started it thinking, you know, this will be a fun hobby. I want to blog about fashion, you know. I want to blog about budget fashion because there's so much fantasy fashion out there, and I just want to have something that's super affordable for all of us girls who can't afford it. That's all I was thinking, and then it's like, next thing you know, so.
Well, we've got some viewer questions
for
you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they about bow ties?
One of the
I don't
first
know how to tie one.
was Love Your Necklace.
Yes. It's a little boho.
There we go. There we go.
The book.
Is there a question?
What was the name of
It's
the
from
book?
Stellan Dot. Oh, The War of Art.
The War of Art.
I think I said the wrong name. I think I said Warren Pressfield. What is wrong
No,
with me?
you said War of Art.
I said
you said it right.
Stephen Pressfield is his name. War of Art.
So,
great book.
Eva
Highly
Diva.
recommend. Yes.
Eva Diva says, Jay, I think you were a hat judge at the seniors' first high tea.
Yes.
All right.
That was a couple months ago. Great charity event for Seniors First.
So,
and you get to wear a fabulous hat.
I love that.
So fun.
I love that.
I like
so
hats.
Michelle Elliott Dickerson said, Jeanette, what inspired you to go into blogging? We've covered that a little bit.
Yeah.
Monica Stone.
Yes.
She asked, Jeanette, how do you get started working with brands?
That's a great question. So my background was in marketing. So I was a marketing manager for 5 years before I got laid off. And that has definitely helped with my journey, because I sort of am my own brand now, and I use those skills that I learned in that job. But the first year or so, I actually did spend a lot of time, and I guess that would actually be the second year, because the first year I wasn't monetizing, but I started sending out emails to like boutiques that maybe had about the same number of Facebook fans, and I would just see if they wanted to link up and even just promote each other on Facebook, or you know, maybe do something together. It usually wasn't for money at that point, but just like some way that we could work together. And so I did that for a while, but what's interesting is that at some point a blog gets enough of traffic that it all comes to you. So I'm not even sure how you would get a hold of like Walmart to pitch something to them. Like every opportunity I've had, whether it's TV, sponsorships, anything in the last 2.5 years, have all just emailed me or cold called me. Yeah, so you know, I did do some outgoing at first with smaller boutiques.
And maybe that's something that we could at FL BlogCon do a kind of a series on, like maybe doing a sample email of how somebody could approach. Yeah. So we can get together on that a little bit later and post those for you.
And that's why I loved the pitch that you did, bringing brands and bloggers together, because sometimes that's just half the battle, is just finding each other and finding those good fits. So
when you were working with those early brands for the free stuff, were you looking, did you just send them an email and say, hey, here's what I want to do, and did you, you know, I guess sometimes people feel nervous, like what if they don't respond, or what if they say no?
I would say
Whatever
80%
happened?
never responded, but I was fine with that. I guess because I, again, kind of worked in marketing for so long that I was just, I actually did door-to-door sales for university directories back in college too, and I had people slam the door in my face so many times. It just wasn't, it's funny, I think being in marketing too, I'm able to sort of take myself out of it, so I never feel like I'm like pushing me. It was like this brand that I've created, so I'm very good at taking myself out of it, if that makes sense. Very much like, you know, that's not really me. It's just a business that I've created, you know, so.
So I think we've got time for 2 more questions.
All right.
The first one is from Sarah Stokel. What's your #1 tip for building a following?
Oh, there's so many.
That's why I'm saying #1. Your best tip. Do you think maybe on Facebook, being true to your voice, or?
There's no one, it just depends on which social media you like the most, but I would say if you're starting out from the beginning, definitely get your friends and family on board and get them to start helping. And if you could get them to become passionate and convert them, you know you're onto something, and it should spread at least somewhat from there. There's other ways.
Ever recommend? I love that advice.
That was, yeah. Well, think of it this way. Think of it as any other business. If you open a bakery, what are you going to do? You're going to tell all your friends and family, come visit me. Like, you got to get them, and when they become obsessed, they start telling their friends, and their friends tell their friends. So it's not the only way, but it's definitely a start.
And then your final question is from Margarita Cambest. She says, your favorite local boutique in Orlando. Do you have just one you can name?
Well, I really like Sophie and Trey and like Mary, but I never get up that far, but it's really cute. And there's In Style in Baldwin Park has really a cute boutique now. They've been expanding. I just shot something there, a video with them recently. So,
all right. So since we have fashion blogger extraordinaire, Ben and I thought we'd do something a little fun. So we decided to take Throwback Thursday to a Throwback Sunday and get your
it's cheating, by the way, but go ahead.
To get your advice.
Fashion Rewind Sunday.
So the first one is from me, and we're going way, way back, like early 70s. I'm that old. So Jay, take a look.
Aww.
The plaid pants on my brothers, the big old collars and butterfly collars. So tell me, scale of 1 to 10, where would you?
I'm not going to rate that. You guys are adorable. That is so, I love the 70s, which is kind of the bohemian flair. Love it.
I have to say, I think
you look so cute.
I think we were dressed up for like an Easter Sunday.
Let's talk about those haircuts, though. Let's not talk about the haircuts.
That 70s show.
I like the pants.
I think they're cool. They sell a lot of plaid shorts. I don't know if you can find those pants.
The pants. Okay, so the next one is forward a couple decades.
Bess, you look hot. Your hair looks so good. Those jeans may need to go, but I mean, how high up do those go?
Oh my gosh, those were the quintessential mom jeans. But when I was wearing them, they were not mom jeans
no
yet.
one
That's
had
what
that name yet.
Everybody wore. It wasn't until
Some
fashion
high-rise
moved on
pants.
and the moms did not move on that they became mom jeans. That, I mean, those were in.
Like, high-rise pants are kind of in style right now, but that's like above high-rise. Like, that's like another 3 inches.
High-rise.
I miss the big hair though.
Your hair looks fantastic there,
I miss the big hair. All right,
dig
so
it.
Jocelyn likes the pics.
thank you, Jocelyn. All right, so moving on to Ben. Ben, where are you in this one?
Neiman Marcus.
Oh, Ben.
I wanted to pretend like I was a hoity-toity fashion model, and so I started pulling clothes off the rack at Neiman Marcus, unbeknownst to me that the salespeople there work on commission. So they're trying to see if I'm actually going to buy it, and when they realized I was just putting on clothes to put on really expensive clothes, they started giving me the look.
This was early day fashion blogging, though, because now, you know, you take the selfie in the fitting room and...
Yeah, who took this picture, Ben?
I think my friend Steve, because we were both doing the same thing. We were in Boston. We just said, let's go to Neiman Marcus, because, you know,
I can't even comment.
I couldn't afford that back then.
So the final one is, I think, my all-time favorite picture of you, Ben.
Less fashion, more...
You look like Eminem so much. I can't even handle it.
So...
Let alone... What is on that shirt? It's almost Hawaiian print.
Yeah, it's kind of a Hawaiian print.
Unbuttoned over a t-shirt.
Yeah,
it's
a logo t-shirt too.
It's the hair.
It is.
I was called Beminem. That was
That's unbelievable.
2002. 2002.
Don't tell
2002.
people. Just don't show
It was,
people that
yeah.
picture. I'm
See,
kidding.
you guys out there, you can't, but the audience can, but the people, the crew can't see
know,
it. You can't get the appreciation.
I would love to see if any of the listeners or watchers,
Yeah.
if all of you have
You
great
people.
fashion photos from the past, throw them up on Twitter or Instagram and tag FL BlogCon. I just want to see what you've got in your
And yes,
closet.
Sarah, but he didn't just frost his hair. He dunked the whole head. He just bleached it.
And Ricky Lee says Marshall Mathers read.
Well, and it was the do-it-yourself too, which is just horrible, you know, because it burns.
Oh yeah. So go to our Facebook page, you know, and post your Throwback Sunday fashion, and maybe Jay, you can go on and give a little shout out to them for the best ones there. So, definitely. All right. Well, we have the luxury of worrying about what our hair looked back in the 80s and 90s, where actually there's some people right here in Florida that have some much more serious problems. Worried about putting food on the table. So we're actually proud to be teaming with Second Harvest Food Bank as well as the Florida Dairy Farmers to do this year's FL Blogging for Good. So take a look at this video first. So make sure that you take a look at our FL Blogging for Good. So if you go to flblogcon.com and check on the blog, you're going to see all the information that you can enter and help spread word about the Great American Milk Challenge. And so it's being sponsored by the Florida Dairy Farmers and encouraging people to donate milk to their local food bank. And how we are participating, we do this every year where we try to unite the social media power of bloggers. All we want you to do is write a blog post about it. Just write a blog post letting people know about the program, that they can donate milk to their local food bank. If you do that, just by writing the blog post, you will be in the running to win an iPad mini sponsored by the Florida Dairy Farmers. So here's the catch. You only have 24 hours left to enter. It's almost over. So in the next 24 hours, write your blog post. Be sure to tag it with the hashtag FLBloggingForGood and hashtag Florida Milk, and you'll be in the running. So pretty cool.
Easy peasy.
Easy to do, easy to do. So speaking of Florida Dairy Farmers.
Florida Dairy Farmers, they were the sponsor of this past month's tweet chat. FL BlogCon has it once a month where we talked about cause blogging, which I think is important. You know, we really love our own communities, our own niches that we blog about, but every once in a while it's good to just do something a little bit higher and challenge our readers to go a little bit further and donate or volunteer or just make an impact to our communities. So great tweet chat that we had. And I just love just seeing all of our blogger friends just come once a month and connect, because we don't do that enough.
Yeah, Roy Paul, Loretta Taliado was there. So we had a lot of good names join in.
Yep, and everyone always shares just great stuff.
So that brings us to our top tweets. It's a new session that we're doing. So one of our top tweets from this past month, I think we've got a screenshot of it, was from Wendy Gustama, who said, "Thanks FL BlogCon and Florida Milk for hosting the chat tonight. It's amazing to see so many passionate people in one place." And I agree. You know, passion about fashion, passion about uniting the local blogosphere. Same thing here, so it's very cool to see that happening. So moving on to our next top tweet. And this one, hey, are you guys watching soccer?
Go!
Woo! Team USA.
I was like, touchdown.
That's all right. That's all right. Can I get a go Team USA from out there?
USA!
Ah, there we go, there we go. So Ann Coulter, as we know, tweeted that nobody who had a great grandfather born here in America was watching soccer. Infuriated me. I mean, you got to support your team. So Annie A to Z was also a little upset, and she said, "Exactly. My father's family arrived here in the 1700s, and I'm watching soccer. Booyah!" Which brings us to our next one.
Nailed it.
Deli Fresh Threads.
Oh no.
He always finds great sandwich stories, but this one takes the cake.
Read the tweet.
It takes the toilet is what it takes.
Deli Fresh Threads writes, "A park bathroom was turned into a sandwich shop. Would you eat there?"
No.
There's not enough cleaner
Nobody's
in
risky.
the world.
That's what I'm saying. Why? And what about the sales shop? Did you not have enough money to build your own shop or level it and
Hard
build
times,
one?
hard
Really?
times,
That
Jay,
hard?
Hard times.
No.
Not
There's
happening.
no excuse.
I love Anthony Bencomo, but I'm not eating there, so no. All right, so our next one was from you, Ben.
I'm a top tweet.
You are a top tweet. So after a brief hiatus, hashtag collapsed
Collapsed lung,
lung.
hashtag.
For those of you that don't follow along, Ben, he was in the hospital just a few weeks ago with a collapsed lung. Glad you're back.
Good to be back. Great presentation by Pachakacha speaker Diana
Gesundheit.
Rodriguez Portillo.
What is Pachakacha for our viewers that don't know?
Pachakacha is a style of presentation where speakers have 20 slides and can only talk for 20 seconds per slide. So very fast-paced, interesting conversations. It was done a couple weeks ago, and the organizer of Pachakacha Orlando, because it's a global phenomenon, he's closing out FL BlogCon. So Diana was one of the guests I had on the podcast.
So it's kind of like TED Talk style, but just with a little twist to it.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so going on to our next top tweet is from Just Me Again, Just Megan. One of the sessions I went to years ago at FL BlogCon said for me to do this, and I finally got the courage to. Do you know what it is?
No. What did she do?
She was inspired by Jay.
What?
Do you know what she did?
And she actually created a promo video
awesome.
of herself. So when you go to her About page, you know, she has the normal text and everything, but she has a promo reel, kind of a highlights of what she does as a blogger. So very cool. Our challenge this year for 2014 to bloggers was to use video. So congratulations, Just Me Again, for doing that.
Awesome.
And our final top tweet comes from Ted Murphy, the incomparable, amazing, and very unique Ted Murphy. He's going to be our opening keynote at this year's FL BlogCon. And guess what? He'll be bringing the lightning, he'll be bringing the thunder, and the bacon to the opening keynote. So make sure you join us there.
You better really bring the bacon. I'm going to ask him about it when I see
Ask him about the bacon, yeah. So very cool. If you haven't yet registered, just so you know, less than 100 tickets remain. We do sell out early. Last year we sold out on August 5th. We had a wait list of over 150 people. So don't miss your chance to be there. And speaking of FL BlogCon, we have a giveaway.
Woohoo!
We do. So while you all were watching the video, we actually had Jay close her eyes and point to the chat room. And so we have two winners for the tickets tonight. Jason Mayhew, you are one of our winners for tonight. So hope you haven't registered. If you have, contact me and we will do something with that ticket for you. And then the other one was Sarah Stokel. So congratulations to Jason and Sarah. You are our winners for tonight's giveaway for FL BlogCon. So very cool, everybody.
So Jay, where can we find you online?
You can find me at jseverydayfashion.com, which is jseverydayfashion.com.
And then Facebook?
Same thing, JS Everyday Fashion. Instagram, I use the same little tag, pretty much everywhere that allows me to have that many characters.
And Ben, what about
So
you?
not Twitter.
OrlandoWaterhole.com, and you can subscribe on iTunes to the podcast. And I love Instagram, so Orlando Waterhole on Instagram. So find me there.
And you can find me at flblogcon.com. On Twitter, it's either at flblogcon or you can find me at Bess_Auer. So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. We had a great chat room going. By the way, you can watch this afterwards. So as soon as we go off air, it should be live for you to go back and watch again and again. You're welcome to share it to Facebook, to tweet it out there, or even email it to Grandma and Grandpa. So there you
Friends
go.
and family.
Jay, thank you so much for being
Thank you
on
for
tonight.
having me,
Such
guys.
an
It's good to
inspiration. I
see
love
you.
talking
Thank
with
you.
you. Yeah. So,
Thank you to everyone who's watching.
yeah. Good night, everybody. Woo. So we keep chatting because
And
they show.
They are still talking
Yeah?
about the bacon. They just love bacon.
Well, at least they
Bacon!
got off the bow tie, you know?
Bacon.